Press play as you walk to the next room. You are approaching the pop culture art movement. This style originated in Britain in the 1950s post the World Wars in a relatively calm period of time where the arts could again flourish. After decades of violence, the artists used pop culture to make art happy, optimistic, and naive again. Although this movement started overseas, today it is closely associated with Andy Warhol. As you enter the room, you begin to see his works of art. Warhol grew up in the working class of Pittsburgh. When Warhol was 14, his father passed away, and it was decided that the family's limited funds would go to Andy to attend college. At what is now known as Carnegie Mellon University, Warhol studied pictorial design, and after graduation, moved to New York to work in the commercial sector. Although he was having success creating advertisements, he wanted to branch out on his own. But Warhol did not leave his experience behind, as many experts believe this may have been his inspiration for his Campbell's soup work, which is the focus of this gallery. He took an everyday item and made it popular. He made it pop. Many people did not understand his work when he first presented it in 1962, and it is still a mystery today. When asked about the soup, he insisted it represented nothing more than a can of soup. However, some believe he created this artwork because the soup tasted the same to everyone, both the rich and the poor, every time it was eaten, and therefore he was trying to blur the lines between the two classes. When Warhol was asked about pop art in general, he answered, "Pop art is about liking things." This sparked yet another reasoning for his art, his love of soup. Warhol claims to have eaten the soup every day for 20 years, and that this repetition of the same meal every day is reflected in the repetition of the art. He created the piece by projecting an image of the can onto his canvas, tracing the logo and applying the paint. There are 32 cans for the 32 types of soup that Campbell produced at that time. The phrase tracing may be alarming, as it would seem that this is not original art, and some try to argue that it is not art at all. However, Warhol brought a can of soup into a different context, into a gallery, which gave it new meaning and forced people to think about it in a different way. It stood for America in the 1960s, a quickly growing industrial country that was grasping with the concept of mass production. It may seem like simply copying a soup label, but it incorporated what the era was about. Warhol was allowed to use the soup label because it brings a new meaning to the can, and honestly, some free advertising for Campbell's soup. If this artwork was created today by an unestablished artist, it may not be considered art. But nevertheless, Warhol captured a huge transition in America in 32 canvases, which deservedly still belong in a museum today.